I think if you would say
She really got herself with that. That'll be it.
you want me to leave one space or how do you want to work it out?
Well, it's hard to put it.
Everyone, please take your seats. We will begin the convocation momentarily. Please take your seats.
Well, there's only a couple seats there. I don't know if she was.
The person who
Everyone, we will begin the convocation momentarily. Please clear the aisles and take your seats. Again, please clear the aisles and take your seats.
I know, I can't.
think it's due on the 15th. Like next week. Anybody buy him? Well, you know what? I once gave Stephanie the order form to look at, and next thing I knew, she sold like 40 boxes of cookies. So now I just give it to Stephanie, and yeah, I just give it to her and get out of her way and let her do all the work. It makes it less work for me. She's a sixth grader now.
Please, everyone, take your seats. We are beginning the convocation.
Truckload of money. Like every month they drive up in a truck and unload all.
And to begin, let's take a moment to welcome members of Governors State University leadership and our guest of honor to the stage. President Dr. Cheryl Green, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Beverly Schneller, Faculty Senate President, Dr. Marlon Cummings, our guest of honor for today's event, Mr. Ron Daly, Board of Trustee Chair, Angela Sebastian, Civil Service President Ray Fung, Student Senate President Marquise Parks, and in the auditorium, the newly elected Student Trustee Luvia Hernandez Aguirre. Dr. Marlon Cummings, we would ask that you please take the podium as this year's Master of Ceremonies for the Fall Convocation today.
Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. Before we begin the procession, please note that all classes will be represented here today. However, a break with tradition, the seniors, juniors, and sophomores, classes of 23, 24, and 25 will walk in first, followed by GSU's cabinet members, then the faculty and staff. Once these members of GSU are in place, we will all welcome in our freshman class who will be courted as they walk down the aisle of the auditorium. And now, we would like to welcome members of the cabinet, followed by our Gaffalon carriers, deans, and faculty. And trustees, I'm sorry, please forgive me, trustees. You know I love you all. Next, we would like to welcome in our upperclassmen, the sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Again, one more time, we would like to welcome in our sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Can we hear it from them? Can we hear it for them? All right. It is a tradition to give freshmen a commemorative GSU cord, something that they can hold on to and then wear with their regalia during their commencement. First, I would like to introduce our faculty marshals who will be assisting with Convocation today. And they are Dr. Tim Harrington, Marshal Coordinator, Dr. David Conrad, Associate Marshal Coordinator, Dr. Mary Bruce, Dr. Ahmet Khan, Dr. Vicky Kofi, Dr. Angelette Evans, Dr. James Muse, and Dr. J. Christopher Tweddle. And secondly, we have faculty members who will be doing the courting for the freshman class as they walk in today. These are faculty members they will meet and work with during their first year here at GSU. And they are Dr. Ali Sipra and Professor Chris Greiner. We also have some students who will be assisting with the courting, and in no particular order, they are Dakota Keel, Ganesh Marineri, and Luis Martinez. You will note that there are 3 class Gothalons on the stage. We have asked members of the freshman class to carry the 2026 Gothalon and place the new class Gothalon next to the others, recognizing that they are now part of GSU. And now, stand on your feet, clap your hands, give a shout as we welcome in the newest set of Jaguars. Let's make them feel at home. Welcome to our new freshman class. As we continue to welcome in our freshman class, we are proud of our diverse campus community. Later in this semester, we will display international flags from the 51 countries represented on this campus. Today, as our freshmen continue to enter, please join me in celebrating our students, faculty, and staff from around the world, representing Argentina, Austria, Bangladesh, Brazil, Bulgaria, Cameroon, Canada, China, Colombia, Congo, Costa Rica, Czech Republic, Egypt, Ethiopia, France, Germany, Ghana, Greece, Guatemala, India, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Jamaica, Japan, Jordan, Lebanon, Mexico, Mongolia, Nepal, Nicaragua, Nigeria, Norway, Pakistan, Panama, Peru, Poland, Rwanda, Serbia, South Korea, Spain, Taiwan, Thailand, Turkey, Uganda, Ukraine, United Kingdom, Uzbekistan, Venezuela, Vietnam, and Yemen. Yemen. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise, remain standing for those who can, for the presentation of our nation's colors. For this year's convocation, the colors will be presented by the honor guard from the Joliet Police Department. Presenting the colors are Deputy Chief and Officer in Charge, Carlos Matlock, Sergeant Sepulveda, Officer Willis, and Officer Cesars. And singing the national anthem is vocalist Leanne Williams, accompanied by Cliff Dubose. Again, singing the national anthem is vocalist Leanne Williams, accompanied by Cliff Dubose.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me again in thanking the Leanne Williams, keyboardist Cliff Dubose, and the Honor Guard from Joliet Police Department. You may all be seated. I would like to take a few moments to acknowledge our special guest joining us today. Please welcome any elected officials, business partners, and so many people who help support this campus. We know it takes a village, but for a university, it takes so much more. It includes collegiality, collaboration, and ingenuity at so many levels to continue our mission of teaching, research, and service. It is also important to note that we cannot do what we do without our community partners. If there are any community partners, seeing that we have none here, we are going to give a shout out to them anyway because we know we need them. Isn't that right? We also have members of the Board of Trustees, I'm sorry you guys again, for Governor State University here with us today. And they are, again, Chair Angela Sebastian, Kevin Brookins, John Brudnat, Jim Kaderis, and Annabelle Tobias. And we also would like to recognize newly elected student trustee who was just elected yesterday, Luvia Hernandez Aguirre. Let's give a shout out to her. It is now my distinct honor to introduce Governor State's sixth, and my personal favorite, President Cheryl Green.
Greetings and welcome to the Fall 2022 Convocation for Governor State University. Thank you for the privilege and honor to serve as your sixth president of this distinguished institution. While classes began Monday, August 29th, today marks the official beginning of the fall semester for the entire campus community. On this special occasion, we are welcoming our Board of Trustees. We are welcoming our cabinet administrative leadership. We are welcoming new faculty and staff, and of course, all of our new students to the campus for the next phase of their academic journey. I am so very pleased and impressed with the student participation today. I will take a administrative privilege and ask the students to stand and be recognized once again. Thank you, students. We are beginning a new academic year despite very unique and challenging circumstances experienced over the last couple of years. Let me begin by offering each of you words of encouragement and inspiration to everyone within the sound of my voice. The year ahead is going to be unlike any other. But we persisted and we prevailed during the recent pandemic, and we can continue to do so if we focus on our mission and purpose as an institution of higher ed and as uniquely talented individuals. Our annual convocation is our special time that we set aside to acknowledge the extraordinary motivation and dedication by our students to pursue and obtain, with the emphasis on obtain, a college degree. So students, today's convocation is about the future, your future, and the road ahead. We want to provide you with a glimpse of what your future can be by presenting first a legendary businessman and alumni, Mr. Ron Daly, a recognized history maker. A speaker from your present, our very own GSU Board of Trustees Chair, Angela Sebastian. And a representative of your future, Mr. Marquise Parks, your student body president. Before we hear from our featured speakers, let's begin by welcoming our new faculty. Would you please stand if there are any newly hired faculty in the room? Thank you for choosing to serve Governor State University. Our community leaders and business partners, if any of you are here, please stand and be recognized, and thank you for being invaluable resources and allies for Governor State University. Now back to my students. Take this opportunity to design your dreams and prepare for your academic journey, but make sure that you recognize and utilize the wealth of knowledge, leadership, and service by all of the people in this room who are committed to your success. And speaking of noteworthy leaders, let me turn my attention to campus operations. Please allow me to thank Paul McGinnis, the Vice President of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management, and his entire team for going the extra mile during this past year. They have worked feverishly to mitigate the downward student enrollment trend affecting colleges and universities nationwide. They have implemented our new strategic enrollment plan that has helped us achieve some truly remarkable outcomes. Enrollment at Governor State University is up 22.3% from the pre-pandemic enrollment of 2019. Paul, can you stand? I believe all the freshmen know him because he was at their programs a few weeks ago. This is a highly commendable accomplishment and is unprecedented. So let me continue. Also, as of yesterday, Governor State University has a record number of enrolled freshmen. We have, as is evidenced by the beautiful faces in this room today, a 57% increase for fall 2022 as compared to fall 2021. think the freshmen are in the house. Am I right? I also want to recognize other leadership on my cabinet, starting with Dr. Beverly Schneller, Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, who has been with GSU since March 2022. She and several members of the Academic Affairs team have completed a comprehensive assessment of select academic programs here at GSU, which provided an in-depth assessment as outlined by the famous Gardner Curricular Analytics community. They reviewed high impact practices, barriers to licensure pass rates and degree completion, and have enumerated an exhaustive list of recommendations to, and this is why I'm talking to the students, to eliminate barriers for student progression while promoting greater advancements towards success outcomes. And this report will be presented and reviewed throughout the academic areas on campus, so stay tuned for more. These activities are in alignment with the goal for GSU to increase our Carnegie classification, the framework for recognizing and describing institutional research rankings in the United States. And finally, another goal involves pursuing the obtainment of the prestigious Malcolm Bridge Award for Quality Management and Performance Excellence. We will seek recognition at both the state and the national level. And we're very fortunate to have a visionary provost to help us soar at Governor State University. Let me highlight just a few more things that are happening across campus. For the first time in 15 years, we have a facilities master plan for the university. This is a significant accomplishment that has been developed as a result of the work by many individuals, including over 40 focus groups and in our community, and was recently approved by the Board of Trustees during their August meeting. Well, when this is implemented, this will mean that we will have a new library. We will have newer classrooms. We will have a brand new student center and athletic facilities. Thank you, students. Let me also mention just a few more accomplishments. Work with the College of Arts and Sciences, an MOU was recently signed with Southern Illinois University, designed as a 3-year plus 3-year program, which supports that these students entering as freshmen today can achieve in 6 years instead of 7, both a bachelor's degree and a JD. The graduate program has a record enrollment this year, and there are preliminary plans to change the graduate program of studies into a graduate college. A similar redesign is being proposed for study by the honors program, which could also be transformed into an honors college. The Center for Performing Arts, which we all know and love, and we are in this space now, has been successful with fundraising and robust programming on critical social issues. I expect to see everyone in this room at their upcoming play, Red Summer, which begins on September 16th and goes until the 25th. People all over the Southland, the state of Illinois, and the Midwest know the Center for Performing Arts for programming excellence at Governor State University. But let me also boast about the NATE. For 2 years in a row, our Nathan Manilow Sculpture Park has been voted as the #1 and the #2 sculpture park in America by USA Today Reader's Choice Award. I expect to see many of you at our Sculpture Wine and Dine on September 10th in a couple of days so that you can enjoy and appreciate the #1 and #2 sculpture park in America. Of course, we have known this all along, so congratulations to Jeff Stevenson, the Nate's board, the thousands of alumni who voted for them, and everyone who supports the park. We continue to remain as one of the safest campuses in the state of Illinois and the country, as indicated in our annual Clery report. Thank you for your leadership, Chief McGee and his officers. We expanded our varsity athletic teams. Are there any athletes in the house? We expanded our varsity athletics team at the university to include the creation of varsity teams for men's and women's soccer, men's basketball, and for fall 2022 women's basketball. And while we're applauding, let's be sure to support our student athletes so they have an amazing season and strive for excellence as scholars. With leadership from the Division of Finance Administration, we have continued to practice fiscal responsibility and financial prudence by establishing an annual budget surplus. And as we continue to strategize about how to grow enrollment, we upgraded over 50 classrooms with the latest laser technology for classroom instruction. And students, this will enhance your learning experience and academic journey. We continue at GSU to put the needs of the students at the forefront of our planning and development. And as of September 1, we have increased the minimum wage for all student workers to $15 an hour to help them keep college affordable. Before I close, I just want to acknowledge that leadership comes in many forms. And I must also mark this occasion by acknowledging the shared governance leaders of the university. I will start by giving greetings to the UPI leadership team headed by Mike Hart. And I want to acknowledge a major leadership transition. Let's thank Cheryl Harper for her years of service to the Civil Service Senate. And welcome the brand new president, Brave Fong. Brave, your name has a very special meaning because all of us will need courage to make the right decisions, develop the appropriate strategies, and support the multifaceted and ever-changing needs of our student body. I also want to acknowledge our Master of Ceremonies for today, the Faculty Senate President, Dr. Marlon Cummings. I believe that as we prepare for the academic year, we have many corporate partners to thank for their investments in GSU, from Amazon to Phil Cambeck to Rocky Kaler. But we don't just accept donations to invest in GSU. We also choose to invest in our own at GSU. And I'm proud to announce the SEEDS program, started by Human Resources under the leadership of Josh Allen, and that stands for Securing Started by Human Resources under the leadership of Josh Allen, and that stands for Securing Excellence through Employee Development and Support. The university has contributed $100,000 to employees who want to participate in leadership activities, because I know, and you know, if our employees are happy, then our students will be well taken care of. Am I right? Through these initiatives and others, we must collaborate to cultivate a climate of innovation, achievement, and engagement for the entire campus community. I am committed to this end. Together, we will overcome any challenges ahead that we may face, and together we must. And now I have a special treat for you. I'd like for you to view a very important message from the governor of the state of Illinois, the Honorable J.B. Pritzker. DLMD, will you start the video?
Hello, students. I'm Governor J.B. Pritzker. Welcome back to Governor State University's campus for the start of another school year. I love the beginning of the semester when campus is buzzing with all manner of possibilities. Over the past 2 years, you stayed the course fighting off a global pandemic and building towards a better future that will pay off for you here in Illinois. And your school has been working hard to prepare for that prosperous future with you. Governor State has taken the lead in workforce development in the South Cook region, forming partnerships with local employers like Amazon to develop and grow talent. And with a recently awarded $1 million federal TRIO grant, GSU is also establishing itself as a hub for equity and inclusion, cemented by Dr. Green's forthcoming Social Justice Institute. With a brand new state-of-the-art strategic plan, GSU is rebuilding and modernizing its facilities, expanding its athletics program, and growing enrollment. Speaking of which, this incoming freshman class is GSU's largest ever. To every GSU student, I know the last 2 years have been challenging, and it's been a long road to get here, but you made it, and I couldn't be prouder of your persistence and resilience. Here's to an incredible 2022-23 academic year. Go Jaguars.
Before we move on to our next speaker, can we just give one more round of applause for our sixth president, Dr. Cheryl Green? Thank you for your tremendous leadership, Dr. Green. At this time, I would like to ask Marquise Parks to step up to the podium and say a few words as Student Senate President. Parks.
Good afternoon, my Jaguar family. My name is Marquise Parks, and I am your Student Senate President. I want to first welcome you back to campus, and I want to welcome you to the 2022 Convocation ceremony. It's so good to see so many new faces, and I'm so excited to share this experience with all of you here today. Now, to follow the tradition of Governor State University, we are here to kick off the 2022-2023 academic school year and to salute excellence. I want to give a particular recognition to the class of 2026 on starting your collegiate journey with us at GSU. I applaud you. Freshman class, this is your time to shine. Bouncing back from the effects that the COVID-19 pandemic caused, our school and every other institution in the nation continues to operate in the best modes to be successful. To help you soar, We are going to chart a course of a degree for you, but I have tips for you. These tips are personal to my arsenal of success, and I trust that you take them and pass them down to your future classmates and peers. 1, utilize all available resources. That is on campus and off campus. We have an array of departments that are designed for our success. For example, the Academic Resource Center, which is a great place to receive support and focuses on areas such as the Writing Center, tutoring services, disability services, and many more. The Recreation Center is open to all students and is a must for physical fitness. And then the Counseling and Wellness Center, which houses a safe and welcoming place to address your mental and physical health needs. 2, I ask that you get involved. We have over 50 clubs and organizations here on campus. If you want to join a club such as ALAS, the Association of Latin American Students, Transformation Gospel Choir, the Black Student Union, GSU Dance Company, or even Reconstructed, we are all here for you, and we want you to be a part of us. If you want to commit service to organizations such as Student Senate, which is my personal favorite, or honor academic excellence in an honor society, we also offer that. We commit to having our mentees and mentors come together and take full advantages of all networking and relationship building opportunities that we offer on campus. 3, change your perspective. As President Green stated, our Nathan Manilow Sculpture Park was voted #1 last year and #2 this year of the best sculpture parks in all of the nation. I got a chance to visit myself, and I tell you, it's like another world. My favorite sculpture is the flying saucer. Don't ask me why, just go out and check out yourself. 4, I finally want to say, voice your concerns. Governor State University welcomes and acts on concerns that need to be addressed. As your student president, I will make it my agenda to make these concerns indeed addressed to create a harmonious atmosphere. To our newly freshmen, transfer, and graduate students, you are new to the GSU culture, and I want to be one to get you acclimated. Your programs of study are top-notch in the nation, but I'm pretty sure you all knew that before you signed up. I think that you have more than enough support from administration, faculty, staff, community members, and more importantly, your peers that you see every day. As your Student Senate President, my goal is to ensure that your voice is as loud as mine. I advocate for student success because I want to watch all of us walk across that stage and make our marks on life. I am a proud Jaguar, and this community of Jaguars that I see today are our next public figures, educators, doctors. Do you know what it means to be a Jaguar? Are you proud of the future of this astounding institution? Will you be that unforgettable, distinguished alumnus? Well, you can answer those questions when you walk toward that well-earned degree. I want to say thank you, and let's make this a great year.
One more round of applause for our Student Senate President. For today's convocation, Mr. Ron Daly, a recognized history maker, a retired CEO, and an alum of GSU, has graciously accepted our request to be our keynote speaker today. The History Makers is a national 501c3 nonprofit research and educational institution committed to presenting and making widely accessible the untold personal stories of both well-known and unsung African Americans. And Mr. Daly has one of those stories that needs to be heard. Attending with Mr. Daly today is his wife, Dolores, who is a teacher, and I'm quite sure she has many stories to share as well. We shared some of them backstage. We also have Juliana Richardson, who nominated Ron Daly as a history maker. If you please, could you both please stand and be recognized before we ask Mr. Daly to the podium? We see you. Thank you, Ms. Daly. Thank you very much for being here today. And with that, we are anxious to hear Mr. Daly's story. Mr. Daly, would you please step up to the podium?
Hello there, GSU. Jaguars. We didn't have a name when I was here. We were just GSU. When they called me and asked me to speak, they told me they wanted me to talk to the incoming freshman class. I just assumed it'd be 300 people in a room, and I could get really intimate. I could talk and answer questions. And my wife and I are getting ready to move. And one of the things you do when you move is you go through boxes and boxes of stuff to see what you're going to throw out. And I came across something I hadn't seen in many years. It was this picture. This was me graduating from GSU. Now, I have to tell you, it was 45 years ago. Yeah. And one of the cool things about this picture and makes it relevant to today is the man handing me my diploma is Leo Goodman Malamuth, who was the second president of GSU, and he was finishing his first year. And we have Dr. Green here, who is finishing her first year. Second year? Okay, I lied. Will, you told me it was, okay, all right. No, I screwed this up. Well, I'm sorry. So anyway, I have deep feelings for Governor State University. I really do. I was 30 years old when I graduated. I was an adult. And this school made it easy for me to get my education. I would go downtown to work every day at R.R. Donnelly, then I'd jump on what was called the IC then, it's the Metro now. And I'd come back out here, change clothes, and go to GSU. The truth is, I spent 8 of 10 years in the 1970s going to night school to get my AA, my BA, and my MBA. Yeah. My education here at Governor State consisted of business courses, because I wanted to be a captain of industry, and an exploration of ideas. Now, any curriculum you have electives, and a lot of people that were in business chose business electives. I didn't need another accounting course. I didn't need another marketing course. What I wanted to do was expand my ability to think. So courses I really enjoyed when I was in college. At Prairie State, where I went, I loved the humanities course I took. We got humanities teachers over there, okay. I got to explore comparative religions. I got to understand philosophy a lot better than I did before. I delved into music and poetry. And a lot of the things that helped me understand the world in which I live, I learned in that class. I also took cultural anthropology, psychology, and I had this really crazy course in fiction, which is really a course in existentialism. You are the sum total of all the decisions you make in your life. That's what existentialists believe. Of course, there is one course I took here that I liked more than all of them, and it was entitled Jesus, Marx, and America. And it was about the philosophies and the things that drove thought here in the United States. either what we were combating against, Marxism, or the impact that religion had on political discourse. Is that something we talk about today? Yeah. And one book that I read when I was in this class was The True Believer by Eric Hoffer. And it was a book about mass movements and how they start and how you get someone involved in it. So who led mass movements? Well, on the bad side, there was Adolf Hitler. On the good side, there was Jesus Christ. And there are all kinds of leaders of mass movements in between. It was a fascinating book because I thought, using some of the principles he taught in this book, I might become a better businessman as I tried to inspire employees to move into directions the company thought they should go in. So let's go back to my graduation. Some folks chose not to march. Why? Why wouldn't you do that? Hey, man, all I want is a piece of paper. I don't need all of that pomp and circumstance. I don't need that. But for me, it was a celebration of bringing one chapter in my personal evolution to a close. And so I came to the graduation that day not knowing what to expect until I looked at the program and saw who the speaker was. One Eric Hoffer, the guy who wrote the book that I fell in love with. So there he sat on the stage. He was a hulk of a man. And when I say hulk, I mean like the human Hulk, right? A really big guy. He was bald and partially blind and had to be guided to the stage. And then when he started to speak, his voice was so powerful. He didn't need a microphone. The whole room would have heard him anyway. But he talked about the theories he put forth in the book, and it resonated so much with me, I literally had tears in my eyes. That was a big deal. So I'll never forget it. So why did I start this journey that I began? There's a book I read not too long ago, A Gentleman in Moscow. Anybody read that? If you haven't, you should. But in the book, the author, Amor Towles, uses a quote. He said, "Life is not a series of leaps and bounds. Life unfurls." And I like to think of a tapestry rolling out. Think about that. So you just don't jump into the top job right away. Something has to happen before. You don't jump into the next job without making something happen. And so that's been my philosophy, so to speak. But I left high school when I was 16 years old. I started high school at 12. I was so immature, I had no business there. I was rebellious and I got in trouble. I failed a semester. And despite failing a semester, I graduated before I was 17. Now, no one ever counseled me to go to college. Now, it could be two reasons for that. I was a bad student the first 2 years. As a junior and senior, I was on the honor roll. I grew up. But back then, African Americans weren't counseled often to go to college, unless you were an athlete. They just didn't expect it of us. So my goal was to work. That's what you do if you're not going to college, right? And I had a job. I worked as a junior, when I was a junior and a senior, in an elite clothing store downtown. And so I assumed when I graduated from high school that I could just go back there and work full time. So I went to work the Monday after I graduated, and I was told that I would no longer be needed. So the hard realities smacked me in the face the first day that I was a high school graduate. So I started looking for a job, and jobs were slim pickings back then. We were in a recession. And after searching and searching, I finally got an interview at Montgomery Ward's. You guys probably don't know what that is. Montgomery Ward's and Sears used to be the biggest retailers, okay? And I went to Montgomery Wards and passed some tests, and I was sure I was going to get hired. And I went in to talk to the HR person, and I was dressed nicely, had on a suit because I'd worked at a nice clothing store. So I wanted to look good and presentable when I went looking for a job. And the lady says, "Okay, Mr. Daly, where's your social security card?" And I had left it at home. So I said to her, "Look, I'll rush home and get it." She said, "Mr. Daly, look outside my door." And there were at least 30, 40 people in there, all wanting a job just like me. She said, "I don't have to wait on you, Mr. Daly." And those were the hard realities of life. You better be prepared. So, next thing I did is I thought about going to the Air Force. But at the time I was testing for the Air Force, I saw an ad in the paper that a company, R.R. Donnelley, was hiring apprentices ages 17 through 26. You know, Vietnam was ramping up. They had a lot of people going into the Army. They needed people to replace them. So I applied, I got hired, and I got an apprenticeship. And I had a great job. As a matter of fact, it was so good with overtime and bonuses and my basic wage. The second year I was in that job, I made more money than my dad did in his 2 janitor jobs. Life was large, right? The only problem is that job did not fit my personality at all. I proofread telephone directories. I don't know that many of you know, students know what a telephone directory is. This was pre-internet, okay? And so when you wanted to find a business or a person, you open this book up and you look for names and addresses and phone numbers. Well, that's what I did all day, every day. Name, address, phone number, tick a line. I couldn't stand it. And a lot of other people that worked there with me couldn't stand it either. So a lot of them left, but I said, I don't want to leave. This is a good company. So I started to open my eyes and look around to see what the possibilities might be. Now, I was working for a supervisor who was just a high school grad, and he was a good craftsman that they promoted. He was no kind of manager. And I said to myself, I could do this better than he can. And then I started looking at his boss. He had no personality at all. I said, I can do it better than him. So I was opening my eyes to the next steps in the hierarchy. And then I asked myself the question, how do I get there? And what do I do to prepare? So I told you, I started going to school. I went to night school, like I said, 8 of 10 years in the 1970s, and I got all of these degrees. Now, one of the things that you study in business is marketing. And with marketing, the number one thing you want to do in marketing is to differentiate your product. So whether it is or it isn't better than all the other products, the perception is that it will be. And in a lot of cases, the marketers are right. Their product is better. Some cars are just better than others. Some washing detergents are just better than others, right? So why wouldn't we look at ourselves like a product? How do you differentiate you from the competition? So I set out to differentiate Ron Daly and knock down any obstacles that might get in my way of achieving the goals that I was continually evolving to set for myself. So I wanted to get race out of the way. I wanted to get education out of the way. And I want to get location out of the way. Now, what's that mean? Donnelley was a big company that was founded in Chicago. But as the markets changed and as the population expanded around the country, it did make sense that were going to be distributed on the West Coast. It did make sense to print them in Chicago and do all that shipping. So we built plants in California, and then we built plants in the Southeast. And so all of the printing we did was going to these other places, which meant Chicago was dying. So opportunities were fewer. And then I saw new recruits coming in that wanted to get into that evolutionary growth that I wanted to be in, but they were coming in to Donnelley with engineering degrees and MBAs. which I didn't have. So that was the driving force for me to go to school. And it was also something I said to my wife when we met, that I won't be staying in Chicago forever. I got to move. And the truth is, my youngest daughter, by the time she was 13 years old, she was living in her 6th house. I lived East Coast, I lived West Coast, and back to Chicago a couple of times in between. So exploring the opportunities, preparation, differentiating yourself are all important to remember. Now, it's important to make your education pay off. I told you I took classes because I liked them. Would they pay off? Well, one course I took here I didn't like a whole lot. It was statistics. Everybody's got to take statistics in business and probably in health and public, all of that, right? You got to take statistics. And I'm studying crop yields. What do I care about how much corn is grown in Iowa, right? It wasn't until I decided that my employees needed to understand what total quality management was. And at the basis of the quality movement, by the way, it was fostered by a guy named W. Edwards Deming, who was credited with going to Japan and making all those junky Japanese cars that came over here in the 70s into the best cars you can get now, like the Lexus, right? And the Nissan. Deming came back to the United States and he preached this to America, but we didn't want to listen. I did. And suddenly my statistics background from GSU made a whole lot of sense. Because you can find errors in your manufacturing processes by using regression analysis. And I knew what that was. Cultural anthropology I took. I was the first Donnelly guy to establish a plant offshore. It was in Barbados. And before I went to Barbados on business that very first time, I bought 2 books on the Caribbean, its culture, its background, who the indigenous people were. I just wanted to get a flavor for what I was getting into. I would go on to do the same thing, my first trips to Asia, South America, and every European country I went to. I wanted to know about the people because I figured if I knew about the people and then understood their cultures and their motives, that I would be able to do business in a better way there. Philosophy was important. Everybody doesn't see the world the way we do. Was important. Everybody doesn't see the world the way we do. So you have to understand that. Psychology, getting in some people's heads is important. When I was a 25-year-old supervisor at Donnelly, I had a 55-year-old employee come into my office in tears, asking me for advice about what to do with his 18-year-old son. My first pass at him was, man, what are you talking about? I'm barely older than your son. Wrong answer. So I had to think, why is he coming to me? And I realized that once I became his supervisor, I became a father figure. Didn't matter how old I was. So then I had to learn how to help employees with their problems and understand them in a different way. Psychology really came in handy. So understanding your major isn't always enough. So what am I talking about here? Your ability to reason and to think critically is really important in today's world. It always was. But for some reason, years ago, we stopped teaching critical thinking in schools. I was a professor at Loyola for 6 years, and the students were surprised when I asked them to write a paper. The students didn't like the fact that my tests weren't all multiple choice or false, that they had the right answers. So what I'm saying to you is, if you can think critically and you can reason, you can outperform those people that can't, and you will have differentiated yourself. So guess what? You're in a really great place to do that, GSU. Thank you.
Let me give another round of applause to Mr. Ron Daly. Forever Jaguar. Mr. Daly, thank you for sharing your wonderful story. We're so happy that you are not only a history maker, but a GSU alum. Thank you for providing us today with a glimpse of your history. Next, we get to hear from another alumni, Angela Sebastian, Chair. Sebastian, would you please come to the podium and share some remarks with our attendees?
Hello, everyone. Thank you. And I know it's been a long time. If you need to stand up, stand up. I'm cool with that. Just get it out of your system. I do want to share, I want to start with thanking again the trustees who are joining me today, and especially our new student trustee. I look forward to working with you. What is a trustee anyway? What do we even do here? And I want to emphasize something that Dr. Green said. We're part of a shared governance system. The students are part of that shared governance system. Our staff, our administration, our faculty, we are all here to serve the university's mission, which means we are here to serve you as a student. So I want to just share two things about what GSU gave me that I use always. One is my confidence. Those who know me now might find it hard to believe that I had a deep fear of public speaking. And it was in my capstone class at GSU where I tried every trick in the book to get out of that presentation at the end, but it was not going to happen. And so somehow I just found the confidence to get up there and say what needed to be said, and I haven't shut up since. So that's one thing. And I know some of you may share that fear because it's the biggest phobia that people have is public speaking. GSU gave me that. The other thing is the first time I ever left the country was in a study abroad program offered through Governor State University. And I went to Germany to study the banking system before the euro came into being, which tells you a little bit about how old I was, and am now. But if you have an opportunity to study abroad, take it. I took out student loans to do it. It was an investment in everything else that I did. So I want to offer that to you, and there are opportunities to do that here. So please take advantage of that. I'm going to be brief. I'd like to leave you with 3 takeaways, and there will be a test. This is a university, right? I don't care if it's your first week, there's a test. So one is, I know it can be intimidating to be in a new environment where you think everybody else belongs and everybody else knows more than you do. I want you to really embrace the gift that is a beginner's mindset. It is a gift. The rest of us who've been around the block, we have blind spots. We think we know everything. We've been there, done that. But when somebody with a fresh perspective asks a question that we hadn't really considered in quite that way, it not only opens up possibility for you, it opens up possibility for those of us who are supposed to be the experts, right? So I want you to really embrace your beginner's mindset and recognize that it's a gift. It is a gift, and it's a gift that keeps on giving. I earned a couple of other degrees after I left Governor State. I learn now, and every time I walk into a new situation, I feel a little nervous. I'm like, that's the beginner's mindset. This is going to be good. So that's one. Embrace your what? Embrace your what? Beginner's mindset, people. Come on, I know. We got to wake up. All right. Number 2, when it gets hard, and it will, it's going to be hard. Even for the top honor students, you're going to come up against something that you don't know what to do about, and you don't know where to go. I want you to really tap into, why are you here? What is your purpose? Are you here because you made a promise to someone? Are you here because you have a dream? Are you here because, pick another scenario. Get really clear on why you're here, because you're going to need to hold on to that purpose when it gets hard. It's designed to get hard. It's designed to weed out the people who are not going to hang on. And I'm inviting you to get, number 2, really clear on your what? Your purpose, why you're here. Get really clear on your purpose. You're going to need that. And then the last thing I'll say is you are not alone. We are all here. All of us are here so that you can be successful in your journey. When you succeed, we've succeeded. You are not alone. That's the third one. You are not alone. So number 1, embrace your beginner's mindset. Number 2, connect to your, and number 3, you are not. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
I love that. I love that. Thank you, Chair Sebastian. Beginner's mindset, purpose, and we're doing this all together. We're doing it together. And speaking about doing it together, before we end with our Excellence Awards and our Baysore Award, I want to give a quick shout out to, as Faculty Senate President, my crew, the faculty that are in the audience. Can you please stand? All the faculty that came, stand and be recognized, because without you, we could not do this work. Thank you, faculty, for being here and for all the work that you all do. All right, now, President Green, now for the moment we've all been waiting for, the announcement of the Excellence and Baysore Awards. Dr. Green?
All right, students, faculty, and staff, hang in here just a couple of more minutes. We're almost done. The next part of the program is our way of awarding leadership and service and excellence at GSU. This year, I have the privilege of announcing the recipients of 2 highly coveted awards. One is called the Excellence Award, and the other is called the Baysore Award. But before I give the award to the outstanding individuals who have earned them, I want to say that I appreciate and I acknowledge and support all of the service and leadership at Governors State University. But now I'm prepared to announce the winners of this year's Excellence Award, because every year we recognize outstanding achievement in the area of teaching, performance of primary duties, research, creativity, and service. And this award is given to a tenured track faculty member and to full-time lecturers and academic support professionals, as articulated in Article 21.3 of the Collective Bargaining Agreement. These individuals earn $6,000. It pays to be excellent. Half of the award should be applied to the employee's base salary, and the other half of the award shall be a one-time payment. The first winner of the Excellent Award for Fall 2022 is Dr. Walter Henney, Associate Professor in the College of Arts and Sciences. If Dr. Henney is here, can he please come forward? Dr. Henney has been at GSU since 2009. His core teaching strategy is to bring cutting-edge new developments and ever-changing instructional activities into the classrooms. So students, what I hear is try to take Dr. Henney for one of your classes. Dr. Henney is a world-class researcher, and he has already produced original contributions to his area of research, which illustrate that he is truly outstanding. Upon infection of his parents and loss of his father due to COVID-19, he served miraculously as a vaccine hunter and angel in Chicago. Despite suffering his own family losses, he worked tirelessly with GSU Media Department to produce pro-vaccination and COVID-19 safety articles for our campus. He also worked with the local community to dispel vaccine myths via Facebook. Dr. Henney served on my town hall panel on reopening for vaccine safety. And he served on numerous COVID-19 reopening and safety committees via UPI. Dr. Henney received the Faculty Senate Distinguished Service Award in 2021 for his COVID volunteer work. Dr. Henney helped mentor numerous course and research students, including one who was hired at Pfizer to produce the COVID-19 vaccine. Dr. Henney, we applaud you. The second winner of the Excellence Award is Dr. Rebecca Seifert. Okay, students, pay attention to who you need to register for. Dr. Seifert began at GSU in 2018 as an illustration of the breadth and depth of her instructional responsibilities. In the 19-20 years, she taught 193 students beyond her own classes. As a sole art historian on the faculty, I'm gonna say that again. As the sole art historian on the faculty, she has responsibility for designing not only for the classes she teaches in the area, but for the survey courses that multiple other faculty teach. During the review period, she designed 7 different versions of online master shells for 4 different courses. The faculty can applaud that. During remote instruction, Dr. Seifert organized a robust program of virtual visiting artists who met with students and the GSU community to share their work and expertise, often animated by values of social justice and advocacy. Thank you. There's a lot more, but I'll just wrap up by saying her research agenda is focused on the role of women in architecture. We congratulate you, Dr. Seifert. There is one more Excellence Award winner, and the third winner is none other than Dr. Carlos Ferran, full professor, College of Business at GSU since 2010, an active member of the union, the current Unit A vice president. He believes in equalizing by pushing upwards, not downwards. Dr. Ferran helped GSU move to fully online courses and helped many faculty develop their online courses. He also kept sending emails to the community on how to improve our courses. Dr. Carlos Ferran's service during those 2 years of the pandemic was more than exemplary. It was excessive. During those 2 years, he was a member of more than 27 committees. In August of 2019, Dr. Ferran was co-chair of the Americas Conference in Information Systems in Cancun, Mexico. This is the premier academic conference in management information systems. In December 2021, he received the denomination of AIS Distinguished Member. Very few faculty have received that denomination. Congratulations, Dr. Ferran. We have one more award and then our program will end, and that is the Baysore Award. This award is typically given to an outstanding individual who consistently demonstrates the qualities of Dr. Gerald Baysore during his tenure here with GSU. The qualities that Dr. Baysore exhibited are absolute integrity, total competence, generous dedication, and unfailing civility. And the winner of this award receives a prize in the form of $750. And this year, the Baysore Award goes to, I didn't hear my drum roll, Tracy Sullivan. Tracy is the Associate Vice President for Procurement and Business Services. She has worked in the procurement field for over 30 years. She earned a bachelor's degree in business procurement field for over 30 years. She earned a bachelor's degree in business administration from St. Mary's College of Notre Dame and a master's degree in marketing management from Loyola University of Chicago. In addition, she is a certified public procurement official. Tracy has been named and served on several distinguished boards. The IPEC Distinguished Service Award was given to her for her commitment to procurement statewide. For over a dozen years, Tracy served as an officer on the IPEC, which is the Illinois Procurement Higher Ed Commission Cooperative Board of Trustees. This board consists of executives from all of the public universities in Illinois. And in 2022, she was nominated again to serve a 2-year term as the chair for the board. Tracy also recently accepted an appointment to the Business Enterprise Council by the governor, representing public universities. In this role, she is chair of the BEP's certification subcommittee of the council. Congratulations, Tracy Sullivan. Let me close our program for today by again congratulating all of our winners, Dr. Henney, Dr. Ferran, Dr. Seifert, and Tracy Sullivan. We applaud you. And now I invite everyone in the audience and on campus to retire and adjourn to our ice cream social out in the Hall of Governors. Freshmen, welcome to Governor State University. Uh-oh. Let me run.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind.
We need all the trustees and our award winners to please stick around as we will want to take some pictures. All the award winners and